Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. A few videos ago, I was riding here on Friars and continued going straight towards Bay Park, Fiesta Island, all that. And I talked about how going through Morena is a total slog. And well, let's go through Morena. It's a total slog. We're gonna do it. I'm signaling to get on over into this turn lane from Friars Road, and I'm gonna go north, and we're gonna take this all the way to Clairemont Drive. It's you'll see, I mean, like, just even right here, we got nothing. We had a major bike lane. There's a bi-directional path on Friars, and a path on each side, aside from the protected bi-directional path. And this is where it goes to. It goes to just a Wild West. This is a gigantic curb cut for a bunch of parking over here, and not even going to bother with sharrows. So it's almost like, where do you expect people to ride their bikes? How do you expect this to go? We'll look at the infrastructure the whole way through. The alternative to this, by the way, if people are like, well, you don't have to ride here. I could ride all the way over to Bay Park, but I'd be going, 3/4 of a mile further west, and then I'd be going up in Bay Park. And Bay Park, as we looked at last week, does not have good infrastructure. It's just a road with a bunch of parking on the side of it, so it's not really that helpful. And then I would have to cross over the 5 on Clairemont Drive, which is a whole other kind of treacherous, and I don't feel like doing that. Like, I'd rather brave the patchwork of design here than go further. So I should have sped us up through that red light, but that's okay. We're passing through this junction. That was Linda Vista Drive, I believe. And, we only have a little block here, and then some infrastructure is going to start up. But, man, this is just an area that is so built for cars. I love those little bike stands off to the side. Did you see those? How are people biking here? I appreciate that there are bike racks, but come on. Here we get a gigantic buffer in this gutter bike path, all paint. I don't know what this line is doing. I'm supposed to stay in the green if I want to make the left at this fork, but I'm going to go straight and stay on Morena. This is, Morena, and if you go off to the left, you're on a different road that I'll get the name for you here in a second. That becomes West Morena, and then it connects up to what we're going to connect up to, which is Morena. Or I'm on West Morena. Yeah, I'm on West Morena, and it connects over to something. I don't know. This whole place is just such a freaking mishmash. Like, it's such a convergence of strange shapes to accommodate businesses and to accommodate driving to those businesses. This is definitely a commercial area. It's an industrial area, and right about here, if you were to make a right, we would start getting into residences. We would start getting into housing and various developments that have been here for a long time, and those developments are at the base of the hill that goes up to Linda Vista and other areas, Clairemont Mesa, things like that. But we're just gonna stick along in this paint. Luckily, it's not that busy, and I gotta tell you, I don't ride through here all the time, but it's always like this. Like, there's plenty of room for the few cars that are driving here, or the few drivers that are bringing their cars and trucks through here. And I've never had a problem here, but that doesn't mean I feel safe. There's nothing stopping anybody from putting their car where it doesn't belong, and I have to be conscious of that. Also, what's going on with these lines? Like, just moving all over the road, and inconsistent, brakes all over the place. Sometimes there's green, sometimes there's not green. Lots of stuff faded. It looks like this whole area has been neglected for quite some time. Riding through here reminds me a lot of riding north of the 8 on Fairmount, going through that Grantville area. And there are a bunch of videos in here. I don't know, do you all search for the videos? Like, you know, I hope that if you're curious, you can do a search and find it. I try to make the titles of the videos contain information like street names so that you're able to find those, because I want you to be able to find them. We just crossed Tecolote Road, and we're gonna keep going straight on this, and it's going to, where are we actually? I don't know. You know what? I'm confused. I'm totally confused. Maybe we didn't cross Tecolote. Maybe we crossed Cushman there? No, that was Tecolote. Yeah. I mean, it's all the same. There's no bike lane, except maybe now there's a bike lane, but this looks more like a gutter, and it doesn't matter because they're going to throw a construction sign in here anyway. I think it's a bike lane. There was a bunch of buffer there, but there was also a parking lot for a building. I have to pinch between that cone and that white pickup truck. This is yellow. No, this is just parking. Who are we kidding? I'm just riding in parking right now. Yeah, that's what was going on. But then the bike lane starts up. Like, this is all so irregular. It's so patchwork, and it just doesn't make sense to me. There's a bunch of construction happening. I have to wonder if this construction might come with bike infrastructure. I'm going to turn into this bike lane. Now we're on Morena. It was West Morena, and now it becomes Morena Boulevard. And this will go all the way up to Clairemont Mesa Drive and beyond. But that bike lane we were just enjoying, kiss it goodbye. It's in the rear view. Because now we are on this massive strode. There's room for a bike lane here. Make no mistake about that. But instead, we have parking and a lot of paint on the pavement. And I mean, this is the condition. One time I was riding on this, friends, and I saw lines on the other side. You see, like, there's a little bit of white, and I was like, oh, maybe they put in a bi-directional bike path on that side. So way back where we first got on here, I was able to cross over, and I was riding in it, and I quickly discovered that while it was a bike lane, it was not bi-directional. It was just going southbound. But by then, I felt like I was locked in. I had the median on the side, and even once I got back to this side, there was no place to be, so I stayed where I was going. And a group of roadies, all in their Leica kit, were coming by, and they're like, "You're going the wrong way." And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm going the wrong way, but this is where I am. And like, they were giving me a hard time. But if you don't know the road, you're looking for the safest option. That's all I was doing. And this time I might have crossed over, except I'm gonna make a right off of Morena. Like, I intend to be on the side I'm already on, and parking is over here, so now I'm bumping out into the lane a little bit. I can't imagine living in those spots right there. I wonder how long those folks have been there, what's going on there, what it's like to live there. I grew up on a main street in New York, actually, on Long Island, and my folks still live there, and constantly battling traffic. There's a traffic light on my front lawn that goes into a T. If anybody were to blow it and not turn, they would drive right onto my father's front lawn. So I mean, I guess I relate to those folks. You start hearing the freeway, like I'm pretty close in that parents' home to a parkway, just like they're close to the 5, and you start to think that it sounds like the ocean, you know, the constant flow of traffic. Tell me why a parking lot for a car dealership needs street parking. It just seems overblown. It seems like this space is not being used. There's all the room in the world here for real infrastructure, and I would like to get it one of these days. Again, this is an important route. There are some people who want to get north and south without having to cross over the 5 freeway, because the 5 freeway crossings are not that safe. They don't feel good. They're treacherous, they're dangerous. We want safe passage on the roads that we have, and don't tell me that there's not room. And if somebody's on this, a lot of people are on here, and they want to move faster, The freeway is literally right next to us, so that option is there for everybody who wants to take it. Luckily, there are not that many people parked at these businesses, so I can use all this parking as my bike lane, which frankly a lot of these drivers probably think this is a bike lane. Nobody's shouting at me. There's no tension here. There's somebody else on a bike. Don't think it's just me. All right? They're riding up on a sidewalk and going someplace else, but people use this. People are here. There's also, at the end of this, a trolley station just to the left there. People need access to their transit. We're going to think about this. Hope they make this better. I'm going to make a right here. I'll show you the next bit another day, and we're going to drive less and ride a bike. Thanks.